Does the person you are with encourage you to read? You have to ask, what does he bring for me? Roses or books? If someone has a stake in making you better, that person will push you towards books. Books are what we all need.
Hello, sir. So we were talking about love, and usually desire and love is quite connected. So whenever I've observed in my relationships, and people have always told me also that you're quite needy when it comes to love. So I'm not. I wanted to understand how can I love people without being too needy, and also how can someone love the other and not need them?
You see, the lower desires, the way they function is you fulfill them and the desire proliferates. The more you fulfill that desire, the more you remain desirous. At most, the desire will change name and form. Getting it? Higher desire is the one that, if addressed, dissolves for good. That's what is a higher desire. So it's all right to be needy. It's just that you should know your fundamental need. If you do not know what you really need, then you will shop for all the wrong things, won't you? And the world is a huge marketplace. There's so much available. In fact, whatsoever you demand, the world will supply. So you should know first of all what your real need is. And it's all right to be needy, but with the right need. Otherwise, if you will call something very ordinary as your need, then that's what you will get, ordinariness. And that doesn't help you. That doesn't give you what you really require. So it's all right. I mean, see, need, desire, love. At the highest level, these three are one. At the highest level, these three are one. Your beloved should be your biggest need, your biggest desire, and your love. Obviously, it would be clear we cannot possibly talk of a person fulfilling these criteria. So that's the thing. Yes?
Acharya, follow-up question on this. So I can see that this person is in suffering and is projecting suffering outwards as well. So for this kind of a man, as I can see that I am also in this situation, for me, what can be my love?
See, principally, your love has to be self-centric. A story on love cannot begin with somebody else. It has to begin with yourself. Right? And when you want to reach out and help, then the name of that love is compassion. That is a separate story for now. What you are talking of must begin with yourself. What is it that you really require from life. That's what you should be seeking. And therefore, the object of your love should be the object of your deepest respect. That's what reverence is. That's what devotion or worship is. In that, surely there can be no attachment or possessiveness. There is no scope for all those things, right? You are looking at something very tremendous. How can you even dream of possessing it? And getting attached to something is one thing, getting devoted and dissolved is a totally different thing. It's just that our education does not teach us these things. From kindergarten to doctoral studies, there is no chapter on love. That's left to the literature side, no? That should be introduced in class 4, and that should be compulsory as a course till post graduation, whatever.
More reflective aspect of love.
The real thing. Because if you do not teach them the real thing, they'll take something biological or social as love. The hormones will get duly activated at some point, and they'll think that is what is to be called as love. There'll be desire for something, some luminous, attractive object in the world, and they'll think that is what is love. So if you do not teach them what is love, they'll take totally the wrong thing as love. And then there are the movies, the icing on the cake. The songs, they are there to educate you on love.
Hello, sir. My question is related to maturity. Is maturity just a function of physical age? So, because I watched a video of an influencer who pointed to the primacy of hormones and body chemistry that determines our maturity. But in one video of yours, you say that that is not physical age, but spiritual age that matters. So, how one can develop real maturity?
What happens when a fruit gets ripe or mature? What happens? It leaves the tree, the physical ecosystem it came from. That's maturity. When you don't have to be compulsorily dependent on your physicality, then you are mature. Look at a child. Does a child have anything other than its physicality? Does a child understand, realize? Can a child even love? The child can be attached. But can the child even love? No. If the child feels hungry, let's talk of a baby. It just cries. It has no option to not to cry, right? There is no consciousness there. There is only physical compulsiveness. Maturity is when you can override your body. Maturity is when you can transcend your body. And by body I mean the bodily compulsions. That includes your thoughts, your feelings, everything, because they are all bodily. You very well know how chemicals in the body translate into thoughts and feelings. We call them as thoughts, we call them as feelings. They are just chemicals within, right? So when you can transcend the urges of the body, the instincts, the thoughts, the feelings, then you deserve to be called mature. As long as you are body driven and thought driven and emotion driven, and you don't have discretion, you cannot see what is going on, you cannot be called mature. To some extent, it can be a function of age, but not necessarily. You can have 80 years old living and dying very immaturely. Quite possible. And we have had several instances where people of small age, relatively young people, they displayed great maturity. So maturity is not necessarily a function of age. Age is not something that necessarily deserves respect. Respect is to be accorded to the level of your consciousness. And as your consciousness rises, you become less and less dependent, less and less enslaved. As we said, you are able to transcend what is happening physically. And that's not just about your own physical body. The entire world is physical, right? When the physical world does not remain too much for you, then you can know that you are approaching maturity. Not only is your body physical, everything around is physical. When these physical things do not remain irresistible, then you should know that maturity is descending on you. If the body remains too much, and the apple and the banana and the toy remains too much, then you are a baby, an infant, somebody very immature.